Saraswata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudev ki jai. Nitilapa Vishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitilapa Vishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitilapa Vishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitilapa Vishtam Vishnupa Rashatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitilapa Vishta Mahā-Bhagavat Śrīla Gokṣaras Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitilapa Vishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitilapa Vishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshada Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। दंडवत प्रणाम माधवी दीदी, रोहित राधा कृष्णन जी, गार्गराज जी, रसेश्वरी माता जी, and Rup Manjari didi. Dandavat pranams, Hari Bol. And also Indira Mataji when she gets a chance to watch. Okay, so Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad-Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yang pravrajantam anupetam apeta krityam dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo bhinedus tang sarva bhutta hridaya munimanatosmi. Narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Shrinvatang Svakatha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridantasto Hyabhadrani Vidhunoti Suhritsatam Nashta Prayeshvavadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshaya Kshiptashtakama Ditarangama De Kripamai Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's see who else is there. Dandavat pranams Yashoda Didi and Kishore Prabhu. Haribol. Let's do this one verse again. Where is it? It's a long one, but it's so nice. Where is it? I think it started Pado Yadiyo. Maybe I'll add it to our daily Mangalacharan. Let me just search for it. Pado. Yeah, there. We learned this in Gurukul, actually. Pado yadiyo pratama dvitiyo tritiya turyo katito yaduru nabhistata panchama eva shashto bhujantaram dor yugalam tatanyo kantasturajam navamo yadiyo Mukharavindam dashamam prapulam ekadasho yasya lalata patakam shiropi tudvadasha eva bhati tamadidevam karuna nidhanam tamalavarnam suhitavataram Apara sangsara samudra setung bhajamahe bhagavata swarupam. I worship that Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, the origin of all the origin of all the gods, the abode of mercy, whose transcendental form is black like the tamal tree, who has appeared in the form of his sound avatar, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is the literary incarnation of Krishna, a bridge by which lost souls can cross the ocean of repeated birth and death. And it goes through all the different 12 cantos, what parts of his body it corresponds to. These 2 cantos are Krishna's lotus feet. The 3rd and 4th cantos are his lotus thighs. The 5th canto is his lotus navel. The 6th canto is his torso and chest. The 7th and 8th cantos are his lotus arms. The 9th canto is his throat. The 10th canto is his beautiful lotus face. And the 11th canto is his forehead, and the 12th canto is his crown. Okay. All right, so we are first going to read a little bit from this Secret Truths of the Bhagavatam. We read yesterday the beginning of the 3rd chapter, and now we're going to read more. Preparing to hear the 10th canto. This is spoken by my Srila Gurudev in Badger in, I think, 1997. We have explained why the first 9 cantos were spoken. Then comes the 10th canto. A platform is required for hearing the 10th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We must know what this material world is. We can learn this by hearing the dialogue of Kapila Deva and Devahuti. It is necessary to realize what this world is and what this body is. This body is only a combination of stool, urine, and many other bad things. We cannot actually purify ourselves simply by taking bath, because the body is always full of these things. It can only be purified by chanting the holy names. Even after taking bath, we utter Yasmare Pundarikaksham Sabhyabhyantara Suchihi. It's from Garuda Purana. It means by remembering the lotus-eyed Lord Pundarikaksha, one becomes pure internally and externally. Therefore, even after taking bath, one should do Achman and recite the names of Krishna. From another perspective, we are always pure whether we do something to attain perfection or not. We are pure in heart and in soul because we are part and parcel of Krishna and have the potential to serve him. We can try to serve Krishna like Dhruva Maharaj did, no harm. But Dhruva Maharaj could not achieve pure bhakti due to his worldly desires. Prahlad Maharaj had no desire. He was a Mahā-Bhagavat. By hearing, we can try to become like him. Although so many problems came to him, he was never touched by them. He remained aloof from all problems and was never disturbed. If you become like him, you can remember and chant Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam always. Otherwise, you will be disturbed. To know all these truths, you can also read the chapters about Bharat Maharaj and Chitraketu Maharaj. Do not be very attached to your children and wife, as Chitraketu Maharaj was in his first life. What happened to Chitraketu? He finally left everything and was given transcendental knowledge by Narad and Angira Rishi. Follow all these teachings. Material relationships can never make you happy. Never. So do not be anxious. Remain in whatever situation you are in, somehow or other maintain your life, and always remember and chant Krishna. Now quickly I am coming to the 10th canto. Shri Parikṣit Maharaj said to Srila Śukadeva Gosvāmī, "You have told me everything up to the ninth canto, but I am not yet satisfied. I am so hungry for this Hari Katha." Nivritta tarshar upagiyamanar bhavoshadach chrotra manobhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajyeta vina pashughnat. At Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.1.4. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher, or one who is killing his own self? Only very wretched animals and those who are slaughterers of animals can avoid hearing Harikatha from superior speakers like Śukadeva Gosvāmī. In Krishna Lila, Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a very dear parrot of Srimati Radhika. He had no contact with Maya, even in the womb of his mother. Soon after his birth, he was admitted into the school of Vyasadeva, and there he studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from beginning to end. After this, he explained Bhagavatam in the assembly of Srila Parikṣit Maharaj. Here he says, Nivritta tarshar upagiyamana. If a speaker of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam has no worldly desires, no worldly problems, and no attachment, like Śukadeva Gosvāmī or anyone in his line, one should not lose the opportunity to hear from him. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is for three kinds of persons. It is those who want to fulfill worldly desires, those who want mukti, liberation, or those who are already liberated. Those who want mukti or who are already liberated, and those who are bhaktas, ultimately rasik bhaktas. The explanation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam should be heard from that class of speaker for all kinds of devotees. Nivritta tarshar upagiyamanad. What is the meaning of upagiyamanad? It is the opposite of gayamanat. They themselves are singing. Upagiyamanad means one who has first heard from his guru, or a Sikh Vaishnav, and then describes or sings it. The example of this is Sutta Goswami Ugrashrava. He attended the assembly of Śukadeva Gosvāmī, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from him when Parikṣit Maharaj was hearing it. He first heard everything, and then he did Giyamanat. One first engages in Shravan, hearing, and then when he perfects that, he begins Kirtanam, speaking. At that time, his speaking becomes Avyarta Maha Oshodi, the infallible medicine. It will not go in vain. And there's a footnote here for this word. Let's see, what does it say? Vyarta means useless or futile. Avyarta means it will not go in vain. Maha means infallible, and Oshadi means medicine. So Avyarta Maha Oshadi means the infallible medicine which does not go in vain. Those who were in the assembly of Parikṣit Mahārāja and Śukadeva Gosvāmī, those who were junior, and also those who were senior, the Kanishta Adhikaris and the Madhyam Adhikaris, all advanced in their stage of bhakti. Those who were about to be liberated were liberated, and those who had no love and affection received love and affection. In this way, everyone developed. Nivritta tarshar upagiyamanar bhavo shadat shrotra manobhiramat. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing the disease, the rog, of repeated birth and death. What is the disease of this world? What is the main disease from which all diseases come? The root of all disease is forgetfulness of Krishna. This is called avidya, the Krishna tattva, and ignorance of love and devotion to him. This avidya disappears very quickly. Those who do not listen to Harikatha with great honor and strong faith are like butchers who kill themselves and others. In this world there are many butchers. I gave several reasons, 10 or more, for Krishna's descent to this world in the first chapter of this book. In the jail of Kamsa, he appeared in the womb of Devaki via the mind of Vasudeva Maharaj. And there's a footnote here. In the jail of Kamsa, he was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, and from her mind to her womb. He thus appeared from the womb of Devaki. At the same time, in Vrindavan, he took birth like a normal baby, connected to his mother Yashoda by an umbilical cord. Both appearances are true. Okay, we'll continue reading this next time. Yeah, let's continue this next time. I'm gonna start now. All right, so I'm just going to read the translation so that we get caught up. King Parikṣit said, "My dear Lord," oh, let me just check the comments really quick, make sure everything's running okay. Oh yes, Manjari Didi, I'm reading from Secret Truths of the Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter. And I'll read more from the 3rd chapter tomorrow also. Okay, King Parikṣit said, "My dear Lord, you have elaborately described the dynasties of both the moon god and the sun god, with the exalted and wonderful character of their kings. O best of Munis, you have also described the descendants of Yadu, who are very pious and strictly adherent to religious principles. Now, if you will, kindly describe the wonderful, glorious activities of Lord Vishnu, or Krishna, who appeared in that Yadu dynasty with Baladev, his plenary expansion." The Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the cause of the cosmic manifestation, appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. Please tell me elaborately about his glorious activities and character from the beginning to the end of his life. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Para system. That is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher, or one who is killing his own self? This is the verse that we just went over, that my Gurudev just explains. Nivritta tarshar upagiyamanar bhavo shadat shrotra manobhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajeta vina pashugnat. Taking the boat of Krishna's lotus feet, my grandfather Arjuna and others crossed the ocean of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in which such commanders as Bhishma resembled great fish that could have. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, my grandfathers crossed as easily as one steps over the hoofprint of a calf. Unto Lord Krishna's lotus feet, the Lord, Sudarshan Chakra and remaining descendant of the Kurus, and the Pandavas, which was almost destroyed by the fin of Ashvatthama. Appearing within and outside of all materially embodied living beings by his own potency in the forms of eternal time, that is, as Paramatma and as Virat Rup, gave liberation to everyone, death, or as kindly enlighten me by describing his trans. Okay, so this is where we read up to yesterday. Rohinyastanaya prokto Rama sankarshanastvaya Devakya garva sambandha kuto dehantaram vina. My dear Śukadeva Gosvāmī, he explains that Sankarshan, who belongs to the soul, appeared as the son of Rohini, named. If Balaram was not transferred from one body, how is it possible that he was first in the womb of Devaki and then? Kindly explain this to me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here is another question particularly directed at understanding Balaram, who is Sankarshan himself. Balaram is well known as the son of Rohini, yet it is also known that he was the son of Devaki. Parikṣit Mahārāja wanted to understand being the son of both Devaki and Rohini. Kasman Mukundo Bhagavan Gehad Vrajam Gataha Kvavasam Gyatibi Sardam Kritavan Sattvat. Why did Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leave the house of his father, Vasudeva, and transfer himself to the house of Nanda in Vrindavan? Where did the Lord, the master of the Yadu dynasty, live with his relatives in Vrindavan? Purport. These are inquiries about the itinerary of Krishna. Just after his birth in the house of Vasudeva in Mathura, Krishna transferred himself to Gokul, on the other side of the Yamuna. After some days, he moved with his father, mother, and other relatives to Nandagram, Vrindavan. Mahārāja Parikṣit was very much eager to hear Vrindavan. This entire canto is full of activities performed in Vrindavan and Dwarka. The first 40 chapters describe Krishna's Vrindavan affairs, and the next 50 describe Krishna's activities in Dwarka. Mahārāja Parikṣit, to fulfill his desire to requested Śukadeva Gosvāmī to describe these activities in full detail. Vrajevasam karon madhupuryam cha keshava brataram chavadhit kangsam matur adhatararhanam. Lord Krishna lived both in Vrindavan and in Mathura. What did he do there? Why did he kill Sa, his mother's brother? Such killing is not at all sanctioned in the Shastras. One's maternal uncle, the brother of one's mother, is on the level of one's father. When a maternal uncle has no son, his nephew legally inherits. Therefore, why did Krishna directly kill Kamsa, the brother of his mother? Mahārāja Parikṣit was very much inquisitive about the facts in this regard. Dehung manushamashritya kati varshani vrishnibi yadupuryam sahavatsit patnya katya bhavam prabho. Krishna, the Supreme Person of Godhead, has no material body, yet he appears as a human being. For how many years did he live with the descendants of Vrishni? How many wives did he marry? And for how many years did he live in Dwarka? Purport. In many places, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Satchid Ananda Vigraha, a spiritual blissful body. His bodily feature is not, that is, exactly like that of a human being. Here the same idea is repeated in the words of Manusham Ashritya, indicates that he accepts a body exactly like that of man. Everywhere it is confirmed that Krishna is never nirakar or formless. He has his form exactly like that of a human being. About this. Etachcha sarvang me une Krishna vicheshitam vaktumarhasi sarvagya shraddadhanaya vistritam. O great sage who know everything about Krishna, please all the activities I have not. I have full and am very eager to hear of them. Naishati dusaha tyakto pibantang tvang mukam bhoja chutam harikatamritam. Because of my vow on the verge of death, I have given up even drinking water. Yet because I am drinking the nectar of topics about Krishna, which is flowing from the lotus mouth of your lordship, my hunger and thirst, which are extremely difficult to bear, cannot hinder me. Purport. To prepare to meet death in 7 days, Mahārāja Parikṣit gave up all food and drink. As a human being, he was certainly both hungry and thirsty, and therefore Śukadeva Gosvāmī might have wanted to stop narrating the transcendental topics of Krishna. But despite his fast, Mahārāja Parikṣit was not at all fatigued. The hunger and thirst for my fast do not disturb me, he said. Once, when I felt very thirsty, I went to the ashram of Shamika Muni to drink water, but the Muni did not supply it. I therefore wrapped a dead snake over his shoulder, and that is why I was cursed by the Brahmin boy. Now, however, I am quite fit. I am not at all disturbed by my hunger and thirst. This indicates that although on the material platform there are disturbances from hunger and thirst, on the spiritual platform there is no such thing as fatigue. The entire world is suffering because of spiritual thirst. Every living being is Brahman, or spirit soul, and needs spiritual food to satisfy his hunger and thirst. Unfortunately, however, the world is completely unaware of the nectar of Krishna Katha. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore of philosophers, religionists, and people in general. There is certainly a charming attraction in Krishna and Krishna Katha. Therefore, the absolute truth is called Krishna, the most attractive. The word Amrita is also an important reference to the moon, and the word Ambuja means lotus. The pleasing moonshine and pleasing fragrance of the lotus combined to bring pleasure to everyone hearing Krishna Katha from the mouth of Śukadeva Gosvāmī. As it is said, Matirna Krishne parato svato va mito bipadeta griha vratanam adanta gobir vishantamisram puna punascharvita charvananam. It's from Prahlad Maharaj. Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress toward hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 7.530. At the present moment, all of human society is engaged in the business of chewing the chewed. Puna punascharvita charvananam. People are prepared to undergo mrityu samsara vartamani, taking birth in one form, dying, accepting another form, and dying again. To stop this repetition of birth and death, Krishna Katha, or Krishna consciousness, is absolutely necessary. But unless one hears Krishna Katha from a realized soul like Śukadeva Gosvāmī, one cannot realize the nectar of Krishna Katha, which puts an end to all material fatigue. And one cannot relish that Krishna Katha and enjoy the blissful life of transcendental existence. In relation to the Krishna consciousness movement, we actually see that those who have tasted the nectar of Krishna Katha lose all material desires, whereas those who cannot understand Krishna or Krishna Katha regard Krishna conscious life as brainwashing and mind control. While the devotees enjoy spiritual bliss, the non-devotees are surprised that the devotees have forgotten material hankerings. Sutta uvacha Evam nishamya Bhrigunandana sadhuvadam Vayasakhi sa Bhagavan Ata Vishnuratam Pratyarcha Krishna Charitam Kalikalmashagnam Vyahartamarabhata Bhagavata Pradhana. Sutta Goswami said, O son of Bhrigu, Shonak Rishi, after Śukadeva Gosvāmī, the most respectable devotee, the son of Vyasadeva, heard the pious questions of Mahārāja Parikṣit, he thanked the king with great respect. Then he began to discourse on topics concerning Krishna, which are the remedy for all sufferings in this age of Kali. Purport. In this verse, the words Krishna Charitam Kalikalmashagnam indicates that the activities of Lord Krishna are certainly the greatest panacea for all miseries, especially in this age of Kali. It is said that in Kali Yuga, people have only short lives, and they have no culture of spiritual consciousness. If anyone is at all interested in spiritual culture, he is misled by many bogus swamis and refer to Krishna Katha. Therefore, most people are unfortunate and disturbed by many calamities. Srila Vyasadeva prepared Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam at the request of Narad Muni in order to give relief to the suffering people of this age. Kali Kalmashagnam. The Krishna consciousness movement is seriously engaged in enlightening people through the pleasing topics of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. All over the world, the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita is being accepted in all spheres of life, especially in advanced educated circles. Srila Śukadeva Gosvāmī is described in this verse as Bhagavat Pradhana, whereas Mahārāja Parikṣit is described as Vishnu Ratham. Both words bear the same meaning. That is, Mahārāja Parikṣit was a great devotee of Krishna, and Śukadeva Gosvāmī was also a great saintly person and a great devotee of Krishna. Combined together to present Krishna Katha, they give relief to suffering humanity. They give great relief to suffering humanity. Anarto pashamam shakshar bhakti yogam adhokshaje lokasya janato vidvansh chakre sattvatat sanghitam. The material miseries of the living entity which are superfluous. Let me reread that. The material miseries of the living entity which are superfluous to him can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is in relation to the supreme truth. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 176. People in general are unaware that the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam can give all of human society relief from the pangs of Kali Yuga, Kali Kalmashagnam. Shri Shuka Uvacha Samyak Vyavasita Buddhis Tava Rajarshi Sattama Vasudeva Katayam Te Yajjata Naishtiki Rati. Srila Śukadeva Gosvāmī said, O your Majesty, best of all saintly kings, because you are greatly attracted to topics of Vasudeva, it is certain that your intelligence is firmly fixed in spiritual understanding, which is the only true goal for humanity. Because that attraction is unceasing, it is certainly sublime. Purport. Krishna Katha is compulsory for the Rajarshi, or executive head of the government. This is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Imam Rajarshayo Vidu. Unfortunately, however, in this age, the governmental power is gradually being captured by third-class and fourth-class men who have no spiritual understanding, and society is therefore very quickly becoming degraded. Krishna Katha must be understood by the executive heads of government, for otherwise, how will people be happy and gain relief from the pangs of materialistic life? One who has fixed his mind in Krishna consciousness should be understood to have very sharp intelligence in regard to the value of life. Mahārāja Parikṣit was Rajarshi Sattama, the best of all saintly kings, and Śukadeva Gosvāmī was Muni Sattama, the best of munis. Both of them were elevated because of their common interests in Krishna Katha. The exalted position of the speaker and the audience will be explained very nicely in the next verse. Krishna Katha is so enlightening that Mahārāja Parikṣit forgot everything material, even his personal comfort in relation to food and drink. This is an example of how the Krishna consciousness movement should be spread all over the world to bring both the speaker and the audience to the transcendental platform and back home, back to Godhead. Vasudeva Kata Prashna Purushang Strin Punatihi Vaktaram Prachakam Shrotrings Tatpada Salilam Yataha. The Ganges, emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu, purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker or preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. Purport. It is said, Tasmar Gurung Prapadeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. That's Bhagavatam 11.3.21. Those interested in understanding transcendental subject matters as a goal of life must approach the bona fide spiritual master. Tasmar Gurung Prapadeta. One must surrender to such a guru who can give right information about Krishna. Herein, Mahārāja Parikṣit has surrendered to that right personality. He's surrendered to the right personality, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, for enlightenment in Vasudeva Katha. Vasudeva is the original personality of Godhead who has unlimited spiritual activities. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a record of such activities. And Bhagavad Gita is the record of Vasudeva. And Bhagavad Gita is the record of Vasudeva speaking personally. Therefore, since the Krishna consciousness movement is full of Vasudeva Katha, anyone who hears, anyone who joins the movement, and anyone who preaches will be purified. Bhumi dripta nripa vyaja daityanika shatayutai akranta bhuri bharena brahmanam sharanam yayo. Once, when Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds of thousands of military phalanxes of various conceited demons dressed like kings, she approached Lord Brahmā for relief. Purport. When the world is overburdened by unnecessary military arrangements, and when various demoniac kings are the executive heads of state, this burden causes the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I appear myself. When the residents of this earth became atheistic and godless, they descend to the status of animals like dogs and hogs, and thus their only business is to bark among themselves. This is dharmasya glani, deviation from the goal of life. Human life is meant for attaining the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness. But when people are godless and the presidents or kings are unnecessarily puffed up with military power, their business is to fight and increase the military strength of their different states. Nowadays, therefore, it appears that every state is busy manufacturing atomic weapons to prepare for a third world war. Such preparations are certainly unnecessary. They reflect the false pride of the heads of state. The real business of a chief executive is to see to the happiness of the mass of people by training them in Krishna consciousness in different divisions of life. Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam guna karma vibhagasha. That's Bhagavad Gita 4:13. A leader should train the people as Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and engage them in various occupational duties, thus helping them progress toward Krishna consciousness. Instead, however, rogues and thieves in the guise of protectors arrange for a voting system, and in the name of democracy, they come to power by hook or crook and exploit the citizens. Even long, long ago, asuras, persons devoid of God consciousness, became the heads of state, and now this is happening again. The various states of the world are preoccupied with arranging for military strength. Sometimes they spend 65% of the government's revenue for this purpose. But why should people's hard-earned money be spent in this way? Because of the present world situation, Krishna has descended in the form of the Krishna consciousness movement. This is quite natural, for without the Krishna consciousness movement, the world cannot be peaceful and happy. What is it just the other day? $40 billion went to Boeing and Raytheon and all these military companies to, due to the whole Ukraine thing. Gaur bhut vashru mukhi kinna kradanti karunam vibho upastitantike tasmai vyasanam samavochata. Right, now we're beginning, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is beginning. These are the events before Krishna descended. Mother Earth assumes the form of a cow. Very much distressed, with tears in her eyes, she appeared before Lord Brahma and told him about her misfortune. Brahmatar upadharyata sahadevaistaya saha jagamad satrinayanas tiram kshira payonidehe. Thereafter, having heard of the distress of Mother Earth, Lord Brahma, with Mother Earth, Lord Shiva, and all the other demigods, approached the shore of the ocean of milk. Purport. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. After Lord Brahma understood the precarious condition of the earth, he first visited the demigods headed by Lord Indra, who are in charge of the various affairs of this universe, and Lord Shiva, who is responsible for annihilation. Both maintenance and annihilation go on perpetually under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4:8, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam. Those who are obedient to the laws of God are protected by different servants and demigods, whereas those who are undesirable are vanquished by Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma first met all the demigods, including Lord Shiva. Then, along with Mother Earth, they went to the shore of the ocean of milk, where Lord Vishnu lies on a white island, Shvetadvip. Tatra gatva jagannatam deva devam vrishakapim purusham purusha suktena upattaste samahita. After reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the Master of the whole universe, the Supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. With great attention, they worship Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Sukta. Purport. And we're ending here with this verse. The demigods, such as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, King Indra, Chandra, and Surya, are all subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aside from the demigods, even in human society, there are many influential personalities supervising various businesses or establishments. Lord Vishnu, however, is the God of gods, Parameshvar. He is the Parama Purush, the Supreme Being. Paramatma. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. No one is equal to or greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, he is described here by many words: Jagannath, Deva Deva, Vrishakapi, and Purusha. The supremacy of Lord Vishnu is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.12 in this statement by Arjuna: Parang Brahma Parang Dhama Pavitrang Parama Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are unborn and all-pervading. Sorry, I need to sit up. I'm sorry. You are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Krishna is Adi Purush, the original personality of Godhead. Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna, and all the Vishnu Tattvas are Parameshwar, Deva Dev. So then, tomorrow, I found this summary of the first chapter. I don't have for the other chapters, but I do have for this first chapter. Where is it? Found this online. Here it is. So we just went over. Mahārāja Parikṣit requests Śukadeva Gosvāmī to speak the 10th canto about Krishna Lila. Then Śukadeva Gosvāmī glorifies Mahārāja Parikṣit's questions. Then Mother Earth approaches Brahmā. Then tomorrow we'll read how Lord Vishnu gives assurance. Then Vasudeva marries Devaki. Kamsa's reaction to the Akashvani, the aerial voice. And then Vasudeva pacifies Kamsa. First he attempts to pacify Kamsa. So we will read that all tomorrow. All right. Hari Bol, Janardhan Prabhu. Yes, Rup Manjari Didi. Exactly. Hari Bol, Ganga Didi, and Sudevi Didi. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranams. And Janardhan Prabhu. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Gurudev Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitila Pravishta Mahā-Bhagavat Srila Gokshara Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Patadash Raghunath, Shāda Goswāmī Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandal, Gaura Mandal, Vraja Mandal, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kund Shama Kuni Munoganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Pancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranam to everybody, and Pradyumna Prabhu and Mantra Murti Mataji. Yes, that's true, Pradyumna Prabhu. This is occurring right now in a parallel universe, this whole Leela. Any more readings on Gurudev's arrival? I don't understand the question. But yeah, we're beginning every class with reading some of my Gurudev's Harikatha. Some of our Gurudev's Harikatha. Here's a picture of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods with Mother Earth going to the Kshiradakshai Vishnu, the ocean of milk. Here you can take a look. Let's see. Here's see, there's Mother Earth, Lord Shiva. Okay, that's better. I'll try to be more on top of it with showing the pictures. I stopped doing that for a while, but now I'll do that in the 10th canto. There's so many amazing pictures. All right, see you all tomorrow. Pradyumna Prabhu, about the titi of its coming. Oh, is it still the titi there? Yeah, it must be, huh? It's still Tritiya. So yeah, for some of you, it's still the day that my Gurudev first embarked on his Western preaching. So yeah, Jai Srila Gurudev, Hari Bol. All right, Dandavat Pranams everybody. See you all tomorrow.